Okay, this is the CoinFlipper file web app option that we're going to do. I'm going to look at how to set this up and work through this. This is the code right here for this. It is a single file. There's not a separate file with this for Java. Any extra JavaScript, everything's already in this file, at least to start with. Okay, so you've got a few divs up here for the penny, and a button, and then the counter div, the div that holds the count for that penny flipping, and this is what it looks like right here. Okay, so this is this. If I click this, this will flip the penny. If it stays on heads, then it's not going to look like it flips, but it is going to count as a flip. You can see if I refresh this, you can see I'm starting out with 0 total flips, and it stayed on. That's a heads. That means I had 1 flip, and it does tally up the flips every time I click the flip button. Okay, so this should, if you get enough of them in here, this should be pretty close to 50-50 heads and tails. Okay, because it's random. So that's one of those things. Now let's look at the criteria. I'm asking for you to flip a coin. Okay, I need functions for this to flip a nickel, a dime, a quarter, and a 50-cent piece. So 4 more items that have to flip. Okay, that means I need images for each of them. Okay, and I think probably that also means I need divs for each of them, so you can kind of keep the stuff separate. You need to tally the heads and tails for each coin, not just the penny. So that means that you're probably going to want to have these spread out across here, these divs spread out in different places on this web page. There's plenty of room there. Okay, so in the code, I've got the penny div. You'll need a nickel, a dime, a quarter, and a 50-cent piece div for this. They'll need different positions for left and top. Okay, you'll also need the corresponding div tags set up. Here's the ones for the penny right here. So you'll definitely need those for the nickel, the dime, the quarter, and the 50-cent piece as well. Okay, here's the flip button for that penny div. Okay, it's just called flip button div, but you're going to need to do one for and name it appropriately. You can't name them all the same. They each have to have their own unique names for the nickel, the dime, the quarter, and the 50-cent piece. Okay, and then you've got a total here. So let me see here. This is a container div, and it looks like everything is in this container. Okay, so what I'm looking for, that's basically your see, that's an opening div that doesn't close up here. Right there, that's an opening div, and then it closes right here because it's after this headline title div. Okay, it closes right there. So everything in between here is enclosing the penny. So what you're going to need is a nickel container div, a dime container div, a quarter container div, and a 50-cent piece container div. You could essentially copy all this and put it in underneath here. Okay, one entire section for the nickel, one for the dime, one for the quarter, one for the 50-cent piece, and you're going to have to use the different images. Right here I've got the penny head, and you'll see in the zip file when you extract everything, you've got all the images for the different coins. You can use different coins if you want to. I don't even mind if you want to use Euro coins or Australian coins or whatever, some other country coins. That's fine. Okay, I need 5 altogether, counting the penny one that already exists. Okay, so that's what's going on with this. Let's check back on the criteria. All right, I need it to tally. That tally is happening right. Total heads. I've got an if statement. I've got a P for the penny. If it's a 1, that means it's a head, I think. If it's a 0, I'm going to count it as a tail. Okay, so right here I've got a little let's see, I think I'm not sure that yields me a 0 and a 1 or a 1 and a 2 right here. Okay, math.random, and it's going to be kind of a low. Oh, it does do floor, so I think it's going to be a 0 or a 1. Okay, so if it's a 1, it's a head. I think if it's a 0, it's going to be the tail, and that appropriately, whichever one it is, tallies an additional incremented count to the existing count, and both total tails and total heads start out at 0 right here. Now that is just for the penny. Okay, so you're going to need additional right in here inside the script section now for the in the head. Okay, this entire section right here is for the penny. Okay, from here down. So you're going to pretty much need this section here again for the nickel, for the dime, for the quarter, and for the 50-cent piece. Okay, the only, well, that's probably the most straightforward way to do it. I'm sure you could embed everything into one function and just have a flip function, flip coin function. Basing it, you could pass through a parameter as to which coin the flip button was clicked. You could pass it right here, like P for penny, or just the word penny perhaps. But I think the most straightforward way is just to replicate this section for each coin. And you need to name them appropriately: flip nickel, flip dime, that kind of thing. So, and you're going to tally up. It won't be just total tails, it'll be total nickel tails, total dime tails, total quarter tails, and so forth. Okay, so you're going to need to name these specifically. This was done with just this one coin in mind, and it was a penny, and this was never named total penny flips, total penny heads, or anything like that. Just, you can leave this be, but when you add more, you're going to need to differentiate these things using the word nickel, dime, quarter, and 50-cent piece. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for this. Okay, let's look at the rest of the criteria. Over a 90, you need a button that will flip all 5 coins at the same time. So what you need on the page here, once you have these other divs and these other coins on here, is a button somewhere that you can click that would be sort of a flip all button, and it would fire all these functions for each of the coins. Okay, so not only the penny, but the flip dime, the flip nickel, the flip quarter, and so forth. Okay, and then I'm asking for you to, when they all land on heads, you need to have if statements and somehow detect and check that all the current displayed sides of the coin are tails or heads or whatever they are. Find out what they are. Okay, so if the P for the penny, let's say, is a 1, if you had a D, a variable named D for the dime, and it was a 1, and a Q for the quarter, and it was a 1, and you need to be able to check these. You need to have one more function that flips all 5. Okay, that just calls these. And because these variables are global here, var P, you'll be able to read them from within another function, sort of a flip all function. And you'll be able to see if P equals 1. In fact, I'm gonna write it real quick here. Okay, so you got some stuff here. You'll have things in here that are that check on this. Okay, and it's going to be something like flip penny. Okay, and flip dime. Okay, and when you get through flipping all these, then you need to go in and check if P equals 1 and D equals 1 and for nickel equals 1 and Q for quarter equals 1 and F for 50-cent piece equals 1. Then you need to change the background colors. That's what it's asking. They all land on heads. The background color of each coin's div box needs to change and match and all be the same. Okay, so you got to find these divs up here, the penny div or the container div for the penny, and you'll have a container nickel div, container dime div. You should have those. Okay, and you're just going to change the background color. Document.get element by ID. Let's just do a quick one right here, and you're going to say let's say maybe it's going to be, I don't know, yellow. That'll be yellow. Red and green or yellow. Okay. Solid red, solid green is going to be a real bright yellow. Okay, so and you need to do them all. So they're all going to need to be done here. Okay, so all the backgrounds. Okay, so that's if they're heads. But then it also asks, and the same thing for when they all land on tails. Okay, except different colors. So maybe, I don't know, purple or something. Okay, so you need another if statement. If, you know, they're all zeros down here, this will be replicated here. Okay, change the colors, something different, maybe just all green. Okay, and these would of course be zeros. So something like that's what I'm looking for to do the 90 and above. Okay, see if we can get that to work. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. That would fulfill this criteria, I believe. If we have trouble with it, let me know. We'll talk about it. We'll work on it. Okay, but that's what this is looking to be. All right, thank you.